Hello, hello, my lovely. Welcome to Crime Story Mama. So happy to see you. I just got my lotion on. By the way, our lotion is restocked in our 1111dex.com shop. And with that, we're going to be going. What is this? Stop. Let me minimize. Okay. We're going to be going back into Lansdowne, Nova Scotia, Canada, to talk about. Happy to see you. I just got my lotion on. I haven't done that in a while, where I forgot to mute my phone. I like to have a backup chat in case this gets frozen or what have you. We're going to be talking about Lilly and Jack Sullivan. This smells good. There's a lot of talk about the big dog. So when the children went missing, some things occurred that brought up a question as to if there was a big dog on the property, and then some reason it disappears about the same time, just a day or two after. It disappears when Justin does. And so I was thinking about that, and I was watching a lot of the replay of what Janie, the step-grandma, says on the day the children went missing. So Lilly and Jack Sullivan allegedly got up before their mother and her boyfriend got up. So you think, oh, that must be early in the morning. No, they were in bed. It's late in the day, 9-ish. They have an infant. There's nothing being done up until this point, because the mother called the children in to school saying they won't be there again today. So this is their third day off of the week. They've only went to school on Monday and Tuesday, right? Thursday, she just doesn't. Lilly had a cough, so they kept Jack home too. Whatever, the children are sick. She doesn't even lay eyes on him. She calls them in. And then she butt dials her mother at 8:30, but still hasn't laid eyes on the kids. Nobody's laid eyes on these children, basically. It just gets very frustrating. So I was going through it, and at one point on May 2nd, when they were reported missing, RCMP needed in to search the step-grandma's Breaking Bad camper. And you'd think she'd be like, of course. But no, not that day. Instead, she basically sits on a sawhorse and boo-hoos and carries on a scene while her son is having a major breakdown. And you'd think, well, that must be the stepdad having, the boyfriend having a major breakdown. No. That's another son of hers that just has a major breakdown, more so than the mother, more so than the grandmother. I mean, this was explained that he was like inconsolable. His name is Justin. Now, his brother is the boyfriend of the mother. His name is Daniel. And the only time he fusses and makes any like boo-hoo, and I'm doing this because if you've watched these people, they're fake. But any time that Daniel does the boo-hoo-hoo, it's only when he mentions Jack. So we're going to dig into it. And I was like, I used to do this on the Steve Avery case. I would break out 21 points of conflict, because we leave no stone unturned. We do not attach to any narrative or anything. We just look at everything. The more that comes available, the more we look at that rabbit hole. And eventually, believe it or not, it does work in some cases doing this. Harmony Montgomery's case, it worked. In Sandra Birchmore's case, it worked. And there have been other cases, it's worked. Gabby Petito, it worked. So it's a hit and a miss if we just keep going down these rabbit holes. But when we go down a rabbit hole, we're basically needing to pull in the factual information or the eyewitness information, which may or may not be factual, but it's relevant depending on that witness as to how it's relevant. So I broke this down. I think it's more than 21, but I quit counting. of conflict points regarding when the RCMP wanted to get into the step-grandmother, that's what we call her, Janie'S Breaking Bad camper that's right next to the house where the children were last heard, according to her. She's the last one to hear him alive. Her words, not mine. She basically said, there's a big dog in there. And they threatened her, according to her, with removing her from the property, interfering with an ongoing investigation, and so forth. But they did tell her they can get a search warrant. And indeed, they had to come back, allegedly, for everything that I know up to this point, in this moment in time, that they did not get to search her camper on the day the children were reported missing, that they came back the next day and they were able to search it time and time and time again. And Malaya, the mother of the children, was allegedly told by Janie, according to Haley, hey, keep an eye on my camper and don't let anybody in there on that Friday the children were reported missing. So there's something going on here, because you're going to find out that people witnessed a big dog up in the window. Some people heard a big dog. Woof, woof. You know the difference between rah, 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 and woof, 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 right? Most people do. And so a lot of people are wondering, could there have been a big dog in that Breaking Bad camper? And we're going to go over all kinds of information about that. But before we dig deep into Lilly and Jack Sullivan's case, let's go ahead and let's get chat on the board and say hello to a few beautiful people that are live with me. And hello, my lovely replay crew. You guys have started calling it the Replay Lounge. I love it. I go with it. But I always appreciate you too. So let's see who's all here. Now, I can't say hello to everyone. We have a great deal of people here. Hi, Trail Hiker. Welcome back. And Cindy Clark. My babies are my ones. Good to see you. Zozo in the house. One of our beautiful moderators, along with Carla Burgeon and Debbie Gazzardo. Zozo. I like you changed your name from Zoe to Zoe Rose. Zozo, you are Zozo to me. And I think Jennifer Swain is here. Allison is here. Thank you. Thank you to all my mods. If I don't mention you, I'm not forgetting about you. There's just a lot of names on the board. Hi, Lynn Hammock. Hi, Martini Lady. Welcome back to both of you. Vanilla in the house and Elsa. All right, my loves, we're going to keep going. I see Cindy got her order. I'm so happy that your order arrived and that you're so pleased. I'm always excited to hear that. Yeah, all orders are being delivered right on time. We got over the Christmas moment, right? Hi, Michelle, my belle. You finally made it for a live. Hello, love. All right, you guys. So look down here at these gorgeous faces. And so Tucker, which is the dog that we all see in the interview that Janie, step-grandma, gave with the, I don't remember who, on the TV. There was a little dog, didn't bark at all. But everybody's saying this dog barked, and it was a big dog, and it was beige. The dog we saw, Tucker, I think that's his name, or at least that's what Justin from Clutch and Pearls calls him, is Tucker. But anyway, that dog was black with a little tiny tan on it, and it looked Scotty, like a little Scotty dog to me. I don't know. Laura says, Mama, your video keeps lagging. Please say I've gone out and back in 3 times and still doing it. Is it YouTube? Am I doing something? I don't know, lovely. I don't think I have. I'm going to flip to some screens. They're going to be blank. But let's take everything off that should be off. Yeah. Okay, I think everything's off that should be. Same here. Mine is freezing. I went out, came back in, and it's still the same. It's got to be YouTube. Let me see if I can. Let me just check this. Maybe if I take the shop off, which is taking some resources. Let's see. Let me go to the chat room. Let's take these off. Okay. It's really bad, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, you guys. Hi, Tracy Hughes. Mine too. It's for everybody. See if that clears it up. I don't have anything else running in the background that should be causing that at all. I could close chat off the screen. And to Tucka the dog. You guys crack me up. Adele says, Tucka. Yes, lagging. Well, and it might not be that way on replay. All I can do is keep going and hope that it works out. Let's do this. I'm going to stay with me. Okay. Now let's go over here. And let's do this. Okay, so it's definitely lagging. It's incredibly bad. It's doing the same thing for my mods. That's crazy. I'm the same. I've went out and come back. It's still playing up badly. All right, well, give it a few minutes and hopefully it'll stop. I have no way to fix it, so, I mean, all I can do is go forward, lovelies. Hey, Tracy Bishop. Hey, Joyful. Yes, it's budgering, furring. Okay, you guys, do you guys want me not to do the live? I mean, that's the only thing I could do. I mean, it's not in my control, my lovelies. Nope, still bad. All right. It's YouTube. Yeah. So let's just crack on, y'all. Crack on. Teresa Becky, hello, everyone. I'm here, but I won't be in chat. I'm watching on TV. And crocheting. I love crocheting. Buffering now and freezing. Wonderful. I have no idea why. Let me just check every single one of my windows. They should all be off if I'm not using them. If I have something open, we will close it. So right now you are seeing a blank screen. Do not panic. Okay, this is the only one on. So, yep, even your TV is glitching, Vanilla. You're not blaming me. I feel like it's my fault, but I know I can't control it. Okay, let's get into it. I've got to pretend that it's going smooth because otherwise I can't get through my presentation, right? Hey, Teresa, this is your favorite channel. Thank you. Thank you, lovely. Gotta be YouTube, for real. All right, you guys, let's get on to this. I want to clear this up. I want to clear this up about Daniel. So everybody and their brother is all waiting on this information about the blanket that was planted allegedly in the tree near the pipeline. Here's the thing, y'all. I'm going to come back up here and we're going to do it this way too. Of course, Daniel's DNA is automatically excused if found on that blanket. It doesn't matter if his DNA is on that blanket. It's going to be on that blanket because he handled it to put it in the garbage. Because he's the one that took it down and put it in the garbage. And so therefore his DNA is automatically going to be on that blanket, which means that of course it's not that they want his DNA for the blanket. Shh, don't tell nobody. Let's talk a minute. It's not because the RCMP want Daniel's DNA for the blanket. They already know that his DNA is automatically should be on the blanket. They wanted, obviously, to use it for something else. right? What a neat way to get Daniel to freely offer his DNA by saying it's for this blanket, you know, the one that was tied up in the tree. Because it should have his DNA on it. So why would you even care to compare and be like, whatever? Now, you could be doing it to, you know, be like, okay, it's not him. Who's this DNA? Fine. I get that. But I believe that they're collecting a criminal case in the background and just not telling us that. That's just my thought. Yeah, I hope it gets better. Is it YouTube? It's fine. Don't touch nothing. It's the YouTube gods. I will tell you right now, it is minus 17 degrees Celsius where I am. So it's a wonder I have YouTube at all. And it could be that my internet connection could be having a problem. It's all you, baby. You told us, okay, wait. Liam, told you guys last week the solar storm is bad this week. Gets worse in the next 48 hours. And it is frigid here. Frigid. Like my freezer in my house is not as cold as it is outside. For real. No, Cheryl, honey, it's not you. It's definitely YouTube. It is really bad this week. I've been seeing others glitching too. All right, Jennifer says keep going. Let's get back over. We got to go to the one I've left running. Okay. So I believe that the not only are, you know, making sure that whatever DNA of Daniel's is on that blanket, okay, that doesn't matter. But if they found another male's DNA on the blanket and it wasn't family or somebody that had access to the blanket, so it's far out there. And it almost makes me truly believe that they wanted his DNA for something else. So that's my secret, is they tricked Daniel into giving his DNA and make it sound like it's all about the blanket. Trail Hiker says, I'm extremely suspicious of DM. Thank you for sharing, lovely. You have Tingy? I didn't even know there was a Tingy. I'm sure it's because I'm so cold. That whole crime scene was contaminated with everyone wandering around in and out of the property. Very, very good. I'm laughing at India's paused faces. All right, let's have fun. Let's have fun for a minute. If we're glitching that bad, maybe we'll come up with these. Seeking Justice says it's getting better, right? I had to make a bunch of silly faces. That's all right. We're looking at your face freezing. Funny spots. I don't doubt it. Okay, loves. So that's what I had to say about the blanket. But this gets wild, I tell ya. I'm telling ya. Here it is. Location, location, location. Pay close attention, my loves. Pay close attention. Janie, it seems a little better, Mama D. Okay. Yeah, Bonnie, you must be near me. It says it's -5, but it feels like -18. Yeah, mine's minus... Well, I figured it out in Celsius, and it was -17, so I think I was at -4. Yes, Kier D, I agree with you. I think they wanted it for something else as well. Liam, you missed Starlight's yesterday. We had parents who kept spitting out kids, and they were bad kids. Y'all, Starlight's was off the hook last night. I laughed so hard. I watched a little bit of the beginning with the kids on replay, and I was dying. Anyway, whew. Let's get into location. 3 things. Wait, you know me, I've got to come up here. We're gonna do it, even though it's lagging and blah, blah, blah. it's doing its thing. I'm still coming up here because this is my favorite screen. That way you can see what I'm showing you down below. Location, location, location. 3 major things happened on one single spot. One pinpointed location on their property. 3 things happened on one spot. All right when the kids go missing. 3 things in one location. There's not a lot of knowledge of what all went on there. Like, we're getting all these different stories and all this and who woke up who and da 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 da. It's never the same. These 3 things are always the same, and they all happened in what I'd like to call ground zero. Location, location, location. Passion Flowers in the house. How you doing, love? Lisbon, good to see you again. Seeking Justice, good to see you. Location, Janie said she raked driveway to level a pool, right? So Janie went over to one spot in her driveway with a rake. Rake. Or shovel, whatever. She's going to put a pool there. Right there where the, knee grinding gravel is, where you're going to be barefoot and literally have a torture session getting out of that pool, where it's going to, tear a hole in the side of the baby pool. And no, it's right by your camper where you're trying to sleep and where the children trigger your big dog, which you have a little dog, right? But we'll get into it. So location, Janie raked the driveway. Janie's got a rake. She raked that yard to get rid of DNA. In your opinion, says Seeking Justice. You might be right. You're getting snow here all morning and afternoon, Bunny up. Where you from, love? 15 degrees there? That sounds warm and lovely. When I say 15 degrees sounds lovely, that would be wonderful. That's 22 degrees warmer than I am. Yeah. Okay, so YouTube and Chat GPT are lagging today. So it's not me after all. Whew. Thank gosh. So Janie rakes the driveway. Where was Jack's boot print found? Right where Janie raked. Second event in the exact same location on the property. 222. That's strange, right? Just happens that's where she rakes, and that just happens out of all of God's green country. It's the only place that Jackie's little boot placed one single print on. Nowhere else on earth did that child leave a boot print anywhere. Unless you count the pipeline, where some people claim it was a cluster, some people claim it was one boot print, which I believe it was one boot print because Janie said that to the interview, that supposed there was one other boot print, one, and that Malaya had sent a picture of it. For those that are into DT and that show, and he claims it was a whole bunch of clustered of them because he, whatever reason, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying I'm going to choose to believe, and I know that sounds stupid, but to believe Janie in this case, that Malaya sent her a picture of the one boot print that was on the pipeline. So we have the boot print in the exact place that Janie raked. Now, how many times, to put a number, okay, hit the like button if you've ever heard that's where Malaya the mother stood, quote unquote, with Meadow on her hip. Give me a like and then put a 3 in chat. If you've ever heard that's also the exact spot where there was a boot print and Janie raked is where Malaya stood with the baby on her hip. Cindy's like, woof, woof, who let that dog out? That little dog doesn't bark. Was a large dog the barker. We're going to get into that, Lisbon. But yeah, give me a 3. Hit the like button, right? If you haven't, hit the like button to show me if you'd ever heard that about Malaya. And then give me a 3. It's cold in Florida. It's cold everywhere right now, I believe. Okay. No. Care D says no. Rep location when Janie learned kids were missing when she seen M be M with meadow on hip. I can't hardly read this, honey. DM. Okay, where are the names? You must be from Reddit, baby. Okay, no. Rep location Wern. Janie McKenzie learned kids were missing when she seen Malaya with meadow on hip. DM said that Janie came out of the trailer when he came down to the hill back to the house, so turned to her right. I don't know, honey. I don't know where you're going with that. Put it this way, their story was well made up. Okay. So you're with me so far. 3 events, right? Yes, Kara G. And then that's when seeing Malaya, and that's when Malaya asked, should I call 911? Right, Kara D. Right. The internet went down for you, Smudger. Everybody's having problems, honey. Okay, so 3 events happened there. We have Janie, location. Janie said she raked the driveway to level 4 pool. We have location. Jack's boot print was found. We have location. Janie learns kids missing when she sees Malaya in driveway with baby on hip. Because she's like, what's up? Kids are missing. How long? 20 minutes, right? All right, then it's the location she raked the night before. That's so weird that she's raking when it's cold and at night, and then it's going to rain. Right next door camper that she and her dog could hear everything, right? Look at all the 3s. Wild. They're being different. They couldn't keep their stories straight. Right, Kara D, right? Lola Lori, hello, lovely. Tracy Hughes is a 3. Liam's a 3. Michelle, my belle. Martina Lady. Jennifer. A lot of you. I can't even. Like, Lisbon said that's where she called the school bus too. No? Because of bad service. Okay, 4. Oh my gosh. 4 events happening in the same place. Here's the thing. Did something, it's queuing us up. They can all remember that spot right here. And guess what? Janie went over and stood in the spot. It has imprinted hard in their mind. That spot in that driveway is like singed into their brains, especially Janie. They can't forget that spot. So I'm asking you, not only is it suspicious there's raking going on the night before children go missing in a driveway, that's suspicious enough. Totally sus. But that this imprinted memory is so hard for them to forget that it's their go-to spot every time they tell a narrative. Whether it's true narrative or not, they're anchoring to that spot because there's some truth to every lie. So, did something happen in that driveway at that location, either that morning or when they got back from town and everybody went to put the groceries away and so forth in the house? Could something have happened that evening? Yeah, she also called 911 right there. Right. All right. So that's a pivotal place in the driveway. Very pivotal place. Yeah, he's the only one, Kara D, that I've ever heard mention a cluster of boot prints. Not that he's wrong and so forth. He talks to Daniel. Maybe Daniel told him other information. I don't know. Maybe it is in the records and I've missed that it's a cluster. but it's always been a boot print that was checked to see if it matched Lily's, and it turned out it was the proper size for Lily's, but the dogs did not pick up her or Jack's scent on that boot print on the pipeline over there. Well, trail hiker, I don't know, honey. She looks a little heavy set, but just say it. Right? Is there any concern that JM may have been the one that may have done something? Well, we've talked about that too. Who rakes in the cold dark? We are not stupid. Right. There were 3 sets of prints. You can Google it. There's a pattern. That isn't a real pattern. That is a stock photo. If anybody is using that crap that Janie sent over that looks like actually black and white, I can go get that anywhere on the internet. That is bull. Okay? So if anybody's using that, just stop. But I will say this. Janie did tell that reporter, the reporter said while she was standing in that driveway, she basically said, Janie said, and there's where the one boot print was found. And then the reporter goes, I thought there were 2. And Janie's like, well, suppose there's another one on the pipeline, and Malaya sent me a picture of that one. And she said it like that. So, gotta go with that's what I've heard. Until I'm proven otherwise, then I'll adjust, right? Seeking justice, you put money on what, hon? Okay, maybe the kids are scared and ran up the dogs. Okay. All right, so let's talk about some rumors, and that's all these are. But sometimes, like a lot of the rumors, end up being true in some of these cases. Idaho 4 had a lot of rumors, turned out to be true. Okay, early rumor. Daniel's brother, Justin, was staying with Janie because he was having a marital problem and had nowhere to stay. That is a rumor. People have tried to come out and deflect it and say, no, that wasn't it. But we haven't really had that addressed much. Like proof that he wasn't staying there. So I think that's interesting. I take that into consideration because this was a rumor that I heard very early on along with that. And this was in the very, very beginning. I heard a rumor that Daniel's brother Justin owned not 1, but 2 dogs. A really, really old dog. And that he owned a dog that was banned in Nova Scotia. I didn't know what that meant. I asked the person, what does that mean? And they named a breed I had never heard of. Maybe you know more about it. If you say it, I'd recognize it. But it was a large breed when I Googled it that had a lot of girth and strong and a big jaw. And I'm talking a big head. So kind of like the one on the screen over here. And I wondered, how many dogs did Justin own? Was he really separated from his wife? Was he on the property? If he wasn't separated from his wife and there was no marital problems, was he over there that night? We're going to get into that very soon. So how many dogs did Janie own? Or was Janie maybe babysitting Justin's dog? Was there a big dog on the property between Janie and Justin? So then the recent rumors came on. My ear is ringing, yes, Danny. Okay. Yes, Danny, Danny. That'd not be my name, honey. But allegedly, Logan and Justin were at Daniel's the night before. Now, Logan sent a message to Daniel so that it could be shared to a creator who then read it on the air, and you could see that it wasn't a normal conversation. It was written in a way that was very much a public statement in a way, but making it seem like Logan was talking to Daniel. The complication is it didn't do anything to clear up where she had been at night. All it did is that on Thursday she would have been at work, her kids would have been in school, blah, blah, blah. It's the evening that we were asking about in the first place, and Logan herself never denies it. She, in fact, ridicules the idea, mockery. Like, can you believe some of this crap kind of attitude? When that's the exact way people that are, like, avoiding answering the real problem, the real question, will do. You know, did you eat all the chocolate chips? Are you crazy? I couldn't eat all the chocolate chips. You know how many chocolate chips I would have to eat all the chocolate chips? Come on. Kind of energy. But yet, I never said I didn't eat all the chocolate chips. And that's what Logan does. So, when it comes to Logan, she never really speaks out about Thursday night at all. So it leaves it unaddressed. And that was a great little show of, you know, here's what's being said, but it also doesn't even, it's not even relevant to the time that is in question. Because we're talking about Thursday night, the night the kids go missing, or the night before. See, I'm thinking they go missing on Thursday night. I don't know if you could tell. So then Justin never refused that claim either. We never hear that creators show anything from Justin. Justin never takes a stance. Justin remains silent as a silent fart in the background and just leaves the stank out here for all of us to go, oh gosh, something don't smell right, darling. It's mud. It's totally mud. That's rank. Oh my God, something smells rank. Okay? So those are my thoughts on that. Lynn Hammock, in your opinion, if there was a video, maybe the police have it and it's banned from being shown, maybe, in my opinion, is that possible? In my opinion? Anything's possible in your opinion, love. You think the dog on the screen is a pit bull? I don't know. I just grabbed it out of stock footage. That dog has nothing to do with the case. I threw that on there as a question. Is this a big dog like that was there? Right. Yes, there was a little boy. He was 12. He was on his bike. And this just happened not too long ago. And he was attacked by a couple of dogs and took his life. And they were that kind. Thought Janie had a Taco Bell dog? Nope, not that I know of. Taco Bell dogs, aren't they like wiener dogs or dachshunds or something? Or aren't they like really pointed, like skinny ears? And I don't know. Bonnie, yep, that's right. They are banned in Ontario, I think. Right. Well, Michelle My Bell says, well, Justin's wife would also know if he wasn't home that evening as well. Yes, Passion Flower, I read Justin's dog was a wolf dog. Wow, I had not read the wolf part. I just heard, all I heard was that it was banned. It was a banned dog, and it had a name. The breed had a name. I can't remember it though. But big dog, right? They're a very dangerous dog, and you cannot trust them. And his cell phone would show. And his cell phone would show this is their service. I don't know, sweetie. I don't know what part you're talking about. Does it look like I eat chocolate? Does it look like I eat like I ate all the chocolate chips? Okay. You gotta be fun sometimes. Okay. Miss Lorianne, hello, lovely. Nope, not Ontario. I own a blue nose, and there are many people moving here with a lot of different breeds of them. Well, there is a ban, but it's a detailed ban. Most people mix breeds, not a full breed. Well, we're not here to get into, the laws and, yeah, no, it wasn't a Chihuahua of any kind, passion flower. No. Okay, start time. Let's talk about this. Janie claims she got up at around 6-ish in the a.m. She claims she tended to her chickens. She claims she let her dog out. Then she claims she went back to bed and played on Temu and Facebook on her phone and smoked ciggies. And then fell back asleep. At what part of her story did she ever remember to bring the dog in with her? Anybody wanting to help me out on that? At any part of any story that Janie has ever told, she has never, ever stated she brought the dog back into the camper. All she says is she got up around 6-ish, she let her chickens out, she let her dog out, her words exact. She went back into her camper, she played on Temu, Facebook, she fell asleep. But did she leave her dog out? Because she never said she brought the dog in. Mr. Hemi in the house, Taco Bell dog is a Chihuahua. There it is, there it is, there it is. You saw it on the news. Malamute? Malamute's, I don't think it's a Malamute that's a wolf dog. I could be wrong, but I'd be shocked because they're not really aggressive. They're sled dogs. Scratch that paint. Welcome back. I think it's still sus that Jenny would not let the Ellie in her camper. We're going to get into it. Okay, so Miss Lori heard that Justin's dog was a wolf dog too, half and half. Now that's horrifying. Cindy Clark says Justin's dog Tucka was a rescue Janie's dog Tucka was a rescue Scott Terrier. She rescued it, and his fur was falling out from stress. I don't think so. That dog that was on there, that fur wasn't even falling off that dog. That dog had enough hair for 4 dogs. I think when she said my dog's hair was falling out, I think it was on a different dog. Right. She never mentioned any dog in her statement. Yeah, who? Y'all, when you say she and her, I don't know if you're talking Malaya or who. So, I'll just keep going. So that's a big question. Did you bring the dog back in? Because she never brings it up that she brought the dog back in. I've listened to everything Janie's ever said 1,000 times, and I can't hear her voice in my head anymore. I'll go crazy. So the other thing is dogs follow her back in. Usually when you let your dog out, it's got to go to the bathroom. And you have to let it back in unless you stay out there with it. But that's not what Janie said. She implied she let her dog out. She let her chickens out, and she let her dog out. She went back in. So she never literally tells you that she brought the dog back in. Right? Just saying. Husky dog part wolf. Oh my God, that would be horrifying. Never did say exactly, Lynn. Husky part wolf. You guys, let me come up to topside for a minute. There was an actual wolf that came up onto my deck when I lived up north. We lived out in the middle of nowhere, and we had this huge deck in the back of our house. And I had a giant Rottweiler. It was huge. That I was babysitting for a friend. Wasn't our dog. Her name was Betsy, and she was massive. When I'm talking massive, she wasn't aggressive. She was a Rottweiler, but like she was the laziest thing you can imagine. She looked like a bear, and so I called her Mama Bear. So we had her for 3 weeks, and I'm babysitting her for a friend. And I ain't got kids or nothing at the time with me. And my kids were all at their dad's for a while. So at this time, she stands up really weird. And she goes over to my sliding glass door that leads to the deck. And she starts getting really low. And her shoulders are coming up. And she turns into like, I can't even. And I was like, oh my God, what is she doing? Where did this come from? This dog's the laziest thing I've ever seen in my life. She like it felt like she weighed 200 pounds. But anyway, I just opened the sliding door and let her out because we live in the middle of nowhere and there's no lights. I know nobody's driven up to my house. She's not going to hurt nobody. But what I don't know is there's a real live wolf that has come up, probably had rabies or something, I don't know, but it come up on my deck and it made her look like a baby puppy in size. I do not know how to explain how freaking large this animal was. You could tell it wasn't no dog. It was like the scariest wolf I can imagine. And I shut my door. I was shutting my door and she yelped and came running back in and shut it. And that wolf leaped off and ran. And I was like, that just happened. That was crazy. So if it was a mix of a wolf, that's concerning. So what about only hearing the kids, right? You know, if I'm freezing, if I'm freezing, I'm going to have to put the blanket over my shoulders, y'all. Let me go check my temperature. I know it's live, but I want to make sure it's okay. Whoa. Brr. Well, I know why I'm cold now. I have a young man that's in his young 20s that thinks it needs to be like 50 degrees. So he shut it off when he came down. And so it's been getting colder and colder and colder. Woof, woof. Right, trail hiker. Miss Lorianne said Janie said her dog was not good around kids, hence why the gate was to stay shut. And they are not allowed in her area because of the dogs. Exactly. Truly. Okay, so I thought about this whole hearing thing. Like, Janie heard the kids. Malaya claimed to hear Jack in the kitchen. Daniel claimed to hear the children. Daniel's the only one that has even talked about seeing the kids, but we'll get into that. And that was only Lily for a second, and I almost doubt that for real. But I thought about how if they're all just hearing the children, right? It makes, Janie makes it clear the children were outside. Now, who knows what real time this is? Could have been Thursday night. But the children are by the swing. She clearly hears them. I believe that's true. I believe she's done some time flipping. So, if she had gotten ready for bed and she put her chickens up, like put them in for the night, and then she let her dog out, and maybe fell asleep, right? Okay. So they all hear the children. What if it's because there was an eruption of sound from the children and the dog? Because she always talks about the dog bark and then I heard the children. And yet we don't hear that she brought that dog indoors. So is her dog out there alone? And look at those fences. You know, they were setting fence that night. Oh, I bet that they had a breakthrough, right? That's a rickety fence. They probably had to make a repair that night before the RCMP got there, or they would have been like, what ripped through this fence right here? So they were setting fence. So if you listen to Janie, she claims her dog barked and woke her up. Janie claims she heard the children by the swing set near her bedroom window playing. She just went back to sleep. She did not phone the mother as she usually did on the other days to alert her that she heard the children, right? Lynn says those dogs scared the bejeebus out of Rottweiler. Looks scary to you, in your opinion? Well, at that moment, I got scared of both situations. So Miss Lorianne says, yeah, Husky and Wolf are the usual mix, and it's a real wolf dog. Some people breed them, and they can actually just breed with some dogs. Scary. Have you seen those big boreal wolves? They're huge. I mean huge. Oh my God, that would be horrifying. 1, 2, 3. Thank you all. If you haven't hit that like, please do, says Zozo. You don't forget to subscribe. And after the live, hype, hype, hype. Thank you, Zozo. You get the goat. Thank you, lovely. Appreciate you. Tracy Bishop. Y'all, I'm frozen now. It was 60. I think it said 67. I'm used to 72. And that's Fahrenheit. Tracy Bishop, there could be no way there was an animal attack. No one could have cleaned up that much evidence. Well, it depends on how bad the attack is, Tracy Love. And if you remove all the gravel from where the incident happened and you put fresh gravel there, yeah, all they've got at that time are scent live dogs, not cadaver dogs at that time. And so, yes, the dog is going to hit at the scent of the child, but there's a boot print conveniently in the middle of this ginormous area. So if in that one spot that, location, something did happen, they could have removed all of that gravel because they did a huge area of gravel in one night. You can see it's completely different ground. Why would they have been changing it? It's not just lighter color. It should have been darker color there. It should have been a lot darker, real dark there, because it's freshly moved. It's wet. It's got moisture on it. But this is a lighter actual gravel and everything. They've done some adjustment, like some terraforming of that driveway on the night before those kids go missing. And it makes me wonder if they were dumping gravel in weird places, and that's why you got Daniel ding, ding, ding with the vehicle, right? Dumping gravel, getting rid of gravel. Jennifer Swain says, for your information, all breeds of dogs originate from the wolf. Justin cracks me up when he does the Janie. Well, I do a different Janie. I don't talk Boston. But I'll tell you what. I'm just saying, that's how she sounds to me. Whoa, my chat just went like that for real. It was weird. Jeannie Henderson says the children could not play on the swings. There was a huge pile of wood under the swings. The wood was moved in the first few days. Saw pictures on Nietzsche True Crime. I believe that too. I believe that too. All right, you guys, let's kick on down. Let's kick on down. How's Janie two places at once, right? Janie usually goes to town with Ron. She stayed home that morning. Janie usually calls Malaya when kids come out in the morning. How is Janie aware of the kids if she's usually in town with the brother Ron? Anybody want to help me? Somebody want to help me with that? Hey, Anjali. Aw, God bless them little ones. Thank you. Nature Walks is in the house. Hi, love. Jeannie says, if the dog unalived the children, why would Malaya not say anything? I have no idea. Maybe she felt responsible. Maybe she should have been watching her children. I don't know. Mr. Hemi, if it were a dog attack, 3 wouldn't be mortality wounded. Okay, if it were a dog attack, 3 wouldn't be mortally wounded. 1, sure, but not. 2, so what happened to the other? I don't know. I'm just giving you this weird stuff and I'm letting you work out all the details. Yeah, there was a complete makeover on the yard, right, Cindy Clark? Okay. So how is Janie in 2 places at once? I'm not buying the dog. The dog didn't hide them. Never said the dog hid them at all. No one has. Nobody has ever, in the history of YouTube, Mr. Hemi, even slightly suggested that the dog hid the children. Okay? So don't get cocky. It doesn't work here. You'll out the door. You can nicely say it. You don't need to be like that. And I know who you are, by the way, because I can check your IP. It's interesting to me that the air scent dogs only hit at the end of the driveway. If the kids were playing by the swings and came out the door, wouldn't you think they would have hit more? Woo! I agree with you. I do. Those dogs are banned in the UK. That's what I heard too. What about the 2 spray bottles in the driveway we can see on video? What are the 2 spray bottles, honey? I don't know. Get rid of gravel at the river streams. Pull off where... That could be why he was up to his waist in the streams, dumping all the heavy gravel from the totes, right? He's got to dump the totes full of gravel that he pulled out of the driveway. Okay, here we go. Janie blames herself. Janie says, if I would have gotten up when I heard the kids, none of this would have happened. If I would have gotten up when I heard the kids, none of this would have happened. Is she talking about at night when she forgot to bring her dog in, allegedly? Or at least she's never said she brought it in. She let the dog out, but she didn't bring it back in. So, what happened? Is she talking about none of this would have happened ever because the kids got lost, or an event she could have prevented? Was Janie's dog still outside same time as kids? I don't know, Mr. Hemi. If the second child ran to help the first child, then yes, it would attack the second child. I agree, Justice. Well, and you have to keep in mind, y'all. All right? If something happened to little Jack, okay, let's say the dog latched on to Jack. What is Lily going to do? What's the dog going to do? It's a little scary, right? Of course not, as the dog cannot hide them. Exactly! So, don't know where you were going with that. Daniel yelling. Let's get into this one. Janie claims her dog barking woke her up. She never says what time, does she? Just woke her up. Janie claims she heard Daniel yelling, Jack and Lily. Could that be where they all hear the children? And what would your response be? Jack, oh my God, Lily, right? Janie thinks Jack is letting out the chickens again because Daniel is yelling. Now you would know the difference. Jack, Lily. That is calling for the children. Jack, Lily. You extend it, right? You want your voice to carry a long ways, so you put a lot of emphasis compared to, you know, if Jack was getting in the chickens, it'd be, Jack! Lily! But what if it wasn't chickens they were getting into? Or maybe they were. What if it was something getting onto the children? So Janie thinks Jack is letting out the chickens again. It doesn't sound like she heard Daniel saying, Jack, Lily, Jack, Lily. I don't think that would be the sound that Daniel's going to make. My dog just came running because his name is Jack. Anyway, I think there's a difference there. So he's not coming out there yelling for the children. He's yelling towards the children. That's why she thinks that Jack has done something wrong, because there's an alarm in his voice, right? With the way he's doing it. That's what I believe. I wonder who put them on the bus each day. I do not know. I have never asked that. I'm going to watch on replay, Mama. I'm missing so much with the YouTube glitches. Love you to the moon and back. I love you too, sweetheart. The streams and rivers are a perfect place for all the gravel from this supposed terraforming. I agree with that. Could the children normally be at school when Janie goes to town with Ron? Well, if the children were normally in school, but they missed, let's just see something. They missed 41 days allegedly. Let me do something real quick. How many days do the children go to school in Nova Scotia per year? 194 days, and they've missed 41. A quarter of the time these children were not in school. That's terrible. So I think that's really, really, really concerning that we're not hearing that Janie ever brought the dog back in. The dog's constantly waking Janie up. That's what triggers her brain every time, is the dog's waking her up, right? The dog wakes her up because she hears the children playing, but she goes back to sleep. The dog wakes her up because it's responding to Daniel, she thinks is yelling at Jack because he's in the chickens. So it's right there. Dogs take them both down easily, Mr. Hemi. I don't know if you've never seen how multiple dogs can get into a frenzy. It can heighten the problem. And if Janie had 2 dogs in there, even that little one would get riled up. Maybe she got rid of the stained gravel and raked the other gravel to even it out. That's what I wonder. That's what I wonder, Wendy. Yes, and we do ask that you don't use all caps because it is hard to read. When Dan was going back and forth finding his tool, good opportunity to dump that DNA. Nature Walk says, I swear Janie said the dog would bite Lily if she screamed. I've heard her say that Lily triggers her, but we'll get into that. In my opinion, says Lynn, I wish we knew if the neighbors could hear yelling and such from the quiet echoing area. I would love to know that too. It says, if I were Malaya, I would have went looking, even if I had to take Meadow. My son got lost in the same ways, and I had my daughter who was only 3 months old. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry you had your child lost. Okay, Wendy, you're hard of seeing. Okay. Well, keep it short so that way I can read it, because I actually do understand. I have dyslexia, so when it's a big clump, a block of all caps, I can't read it. It just all blurs together. So I understand. Go ahead, use caps. And everybody note that Wendy is hard of seeing. So Durwood is all lies. I agree, Linda. No, Wendy, you can go ahead and talk. We were just doing our job. My mods have to tell people because, like I said, I have dyslexia and I can't read, so Miss Lori says, I thought about that too, Wendy, and maybe they backed over them with a car, plane, and gravel. We could think of a million things. Sad part is there's no remorse to just tell the truth. Poor babies. That is heartbreaking, isn't it? Their attendance was atrocious. I agree, Mr. Emmy. Aw, God bless you, Angela. All right, you guys. So, Belinda heard big dog, right? Belinda said it was a big dog bark and didn't stop barking the entire time. Belinda said it was not Janie's dog, Tucka, which was a small Scottish dog. Where did the big dog disappear to, y'all? Belinda's not the only one. So where did the big dog disappear to? You may have any ideas? Passion Flower, wonder if the dog got after the chickens, because we only saw 2 chickens. One was a rooster, and the kids ran over screaming, and the dogs attacked him. Ooh, Passion, that's wild. I could see something like that happen. Passion is asking, why did Justin bring his big dog over to his mother's little trailer when he was staying there? Well, we don't know if he did. We're just asking if he did. Is he the only one the dog would listen to? I don't know, hon. I don't know if it was Justin's real dog or not. Mama, yes. Thank you. Michelle says, well, if it's a half-wolf dog, that's different than just a dog as well. And no one's watching the kids. It's possible dog getting both. Or did they have a pit bull and a half-wolf breed that they are pack animals? All dogs are pack animals. Corster says, oh, hey, MD, lovely mods in chat. Much Monday love, and sorry I'm late. You're never late, lovely. You're always on time. So I think I would like to know where, yes, Mr. Emmy, all dogs are pack animals, correct. Haley saw the big dog. Haley said she saw Janie's dog. Haley said it was a large beige dog with small ears and a big head. She said it barked nonstop. And could that dog that Haley saw be considered a large, aggressive dog? Yes, Bugsy, we're getting to that part where Janie wouldn't let him in. Right. Got any receipts on the stag dog found? I've only heard about it. No, I don't have any receipts. It's just a rumor that searchers found a dead dog. Okay. Haley made the claim. Now, we've all heard, and it was addressed even by Daniel, we've all heard that Jack and Lily was fearful of Janie's dog. Which dog? The little Tucker? Because they don't seem to be scared of the little dog at their other grandma, Cindy's, where they're sitting on couch playing with stuff and the little dog's there. They don't care. So is it the big dog that they're scared of? Is there a bigger dog hidden that we don't really get to see, that maybe Belinda saw just a little bit of but didn't see the face? Maybe Haley saw. Is there a bigger dog that Jack and Lily are scared of? Because Haley said Janie took her dog with her, the big beige dog, to search for Jack and Lily. If the children are scared of the dog, why would you take the dog to chase after the children to look for them? What? Did the dog return with Janie? Did Janie take that dog on a search for Jack and Lily and then come back and no dog? Because we never hear about the dog again. The very next day, everything changes. Now remember this is something I want to go over. I'm still freezing you out. Oh my God, I don't trust them dogs, Angela. I say the same things. What happened to Lolo? Lori, my daughter was attacked by a big dog at a friend's picnic. He bit her on the left cheek and got her chin too. She got 30 stitches. It was very bloody. It was horrible. Oh, Lolo, I'm so sorry. Ugh, that's so horrible. Here, I kept double clicking Michelle My Bell, but it makes no sense about MBM not saying anything and giving that one interview. The dogs have nothing to do with MBM. Wouldn't that have come out by now? I don't know, lovely. I couldn't tell you what goes through that girl's head at all. I would have thought she would have been advocating for children at all times. Perhaps they blamed her because Janie always says, why isn't she watching her children? Maybe she was the one. And Malia, she said in her text to Belinda, I never thought they'd run off on me like that. So were the kids originally in the house and she got busy and they ran out and something happened and she felt responsible? Another thing is, the first thing she told her mother, Cindy, when Cindy arrived, allegedly, verbally told her was, I told you they were autistic. What does that have to do with children wandering off? That doesn't really. But if Lily was screaming that way, maybe in Malia's mind, that was sheer sign of autistic, that they did not understand how they could trigger a dog. And in her mind, but then again, I can't justify a mother's lack of interest in any way of negotiating or begging or pleading for her children. She didn't even use her own Facebook except to mention that little, I wish we had an Amber Alert, and that was it. So I can't answer. Lola says, I wound up throwing our clothes away because of all the BLOD. And that could have happened, but not all are going to be the same. Just because there was a lot of BLOD there, who knows what really happened. But if it did happen, they cleared out, it looks like, about a 12 by 9 foot area of gravel. It could have been in one certain area. I don't know. I'm just finding all this like 21 degrees of conflict with the narrative that we're being told. Something's very wrong. Cindy Clark says, check the interview with Janie Murray and Redhead interview. JM dog is on film. You mean Janie's dog is on film? Yeah, we know. That'd be Tucka. That's not the dog that everybody saw in Janie's Breaking Bad camper. They saw a very large dog with small ears, a big head. And when that interview you're talking about came about, that's what we're saying. Where's the big dog? Where's the big dog that Belinda heard, that Haley saw? Where is it? Because that little, Scottish Tucka ain't the same dog. Plus, Janie was telling us the dog's hair is all falling out. That would mean clumps, right? That's why you would take your dog to the vet. You certainly wouldn't just take your dog to the vet because it's shedding. If clumps are falling out, Tucka wasn't missing no hair. So it has to be a different dog. Passion Floor, I wonder if the dog they found dead somewhere, allegedly, could be one of the dogs. How is it killed? What kind of dog was it? Good questions. Andrea, that was a very odd thing to say. I told you they were autistic. Was Malaya trying to push the narrative of them running off, and the reason they ran off is because they are autistic? That could be. That could be. So let's talk about men not crying often. It's just a lot of men generally don't cry very often. Women, we cry a lot easier. That's just a fact of it, you guys. Not saying that men shouldn't cry. I believe they should. I have a lot of sons, 3 sons, and if they cry, I comfort them. I see nothing wrong with it. But in society's world, They rarely cry, and if they do cry, it's usually not in public. However, Justin was crying unconsolably right next to his mother. And I thought that's strange. So men do cry in public, at funerals at times, when they've lost a dear loved one or a close friend or their favorite pet. The only time I saw my ex cry is when his dog died. And he cried like a child. And I felt heartbroken for him. So, I'm just saying, was Justin somehow feeling responsible for whatever happened? Was there a death or something that he felt responsible for? And could there have been, if a dog, let's just throw this at the wall, spaghetti at the wall, see if it sticks here, is it possible that one of Justin or Janie's dog did do something, and that in the next day or so, Justin was going to have to put the dog down, right? Because if the dog did something terrible to a human, most people would put the dog down. That just would be it. And I would think that would be it. So if the dog is barking like crazy back there and it's a larger dog and Justin's crying, is this all too much for him? And is he emotionally attached to the dog? I don't know. I just find that strange. So RCMP's search warrant. Janie refused to let RCMP search her camper Friday. Janie said she feared her dog would not control itself on the RCMP person. Not that he would have done something, but that's what she said. She had fear that her dog would not be able to control itself, and she didn't want anyone getting hurt. Yet, next day they come back with a search warrant. And guess what? They can get in the camper. Oh, go. Search it. No problem. Big dog gone. Now we got the little dog. Oh, there's a little dog. Yep, that's the dog that was in there. Anybody else wondered? Courtster often wondered about Justin. I know. Need more information on Justin? Thank you, Cindy. Juanita. Thank you for checking in with us, and thank you for replay. It's weird about that, as Janie said, she was bawling her eyes out, and Justin was bawling his eyes out because she was bawling her eyes out. No. Justin wasn't crying because of his mama. Men are not gonna do, no. I can't buy it. Scratch up, hey, how you doing? Hey, Seekin. Men like to show they are brave by not crying very often. True. Margie in the house. Good to see you. The queen of true crime is better. My eye is better. Thank you, lovely. Shenanigans. Good to see you. Look at the picture of Lily with her backpack. And he was happy for her. I look at the picture of Lily with a backpack, and he was happy for her. Who was happy for her, lovely? Okay, you guys, let's talk about this. Janie didn't want him in there, and then Justin disappears out of the picture, and the big dog disappears from the narrative, and that's all within the first day or so, right? Or second day. Second or third, anyway. Now, allegedly, rumor has it, right? I should have put rumor has it. Rumor has it, that's all we got, no hard copy, is that there was a dead dog found by searchers. We need to find out more. That should be something that we can be able to track down over time. So if you know something on that and you have a clip, send one of us creators the information, because one of us gets it, then they talk about it, then we all talk about it. And showing that receipt would really help. But if that is true, we all have questions, right? What kind of dog? How long was the dog dead? What did it die from? Was it a pew-pew? Or did it not have marks on it? Like, was it poisoned? Right? I doubt they would, if this did happen, that a dog did something, they're not going to pew-pew it because everybody be like, I just heard gunshots while searching for missing children. So there would be a different way, and I would think poison. I don't know. And what is the location that this alleged dog was found? Now, I'm speeding up because I got something else coming on. But Tucker didn't bark. That little dog in that interview where the lady is talking to Janie and going through all the motions on the property, sliding glass door, all that, Tucker don't bark. Belinda Hailing and others have said that the dog never stopped barking the entire time. Did not stop. But during that TV interview, did you hear Tucker? I did not hear Tucker talking about that, all these dogs and all this. My dog has brought me a ball. That's too funny. The kids, they heard the kids, but Daniel's the only one that allegedly saw Lily. Janie, Daniel, and Malia all claim to hear Jack and Lily, but none of them lay eyes on them, except for Daniel, who claims that Lily that morning popped her head in the bedroom door a few times. Jiggled the lock. Is the lock not locked? I don't know. Why do they all always mention hearing the children, but not seeing them? Something that sticks in their mind is hearing these children. That they hear the children all the time. They hear the children all the time. So why is that so stuck in their head that they heard them, but that you don't hear about anybody seeing Jack? With all these people awake and texting and calling and butt dialing and all this, you never see one of the kids ever. It's just weird. Janie defends her dog. She says 2 children are missing, but Janie is focused on her dog. She literally says Lily, who is missing, triggers her dog. Janie literally says Lily scream triggers her dog. And then she says, I couldn't stand Lily's scream. Could you stand that scream? That's Janie's words. Janie justified her dog's reaction saying, could you listen to that scream? So she's justifying her dog reacting to the missing child of the child's scream, like victim blaming in a sense. It's really, really weird. Now, Janie's priorities. Janie says all the speculation is not good for her, and it's not good for her dog, especially not good for Jack and Lily. So her real priority is herself, and then her dog, and then finally she throws that especially in there because she realized it's supposed to be about Jack and Lily, but it's really about Janie in her perspective, then her dog, and then Jack and Lily. Her priorities are right there for you. Now, this is my last and final scream. I'm freezing to death. Thursday night, was Janie trying to go to bed for the night? Not getting up? Had she really put her chickens to bed? Put them in? Did she let her dog out for the night to go potty and then later going to bring them in, but she fell asleep? If she gets up at 6-ish, she probably goes to bed around 8 o'clock-ish, right when it's starting to get dark. Did Jack and Lily come outside to play? Because later, Janie's setting fence and then fixing the driveway after that. So was she fixing the fence where the dog broke through that she had in her pen? And did that dog go after the children in some fashion? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Could something have happened in that location in the driveway that is singed, burned, like branded into all their minds right there in the driveway where Janie was raking from, where Jack's little boot print is, where Malaya was standing with Meadow on her hip, and very near there, Malaya called 911. It all just seems awful neatly all around that area where all that gravel got changed. And if Daniel was waist deep in water, could it have been? That's where he was dumping totes of gravel that had the DNA, washing it down. I don't know, you tell me. That's right, Marky. I always cry, I'm a soppy git. Honey, we love you whether you cry or not. It was not my intent to ever make anybody feel like they shouldn't cry. I was just approaching it from like the world standards. Hi, Jamie Cruz. We're just about to jump off. Lovely, but good to see you. All right, my loves, with that, I am going to jump off here. That's all I have for you today on this. But I appreciate your time. And I thank you so incredibly much. You guys have been hyping the channel. You've been hitting like and you've been sharing. And our sub list is going up. We're nearing 40,000. You are making that happen. It's been very special, this journey. I've enjoyed every minute of it. And I plan on continuing with you. With that being said, I pray for Lilly and Jack Sullivan. I truly, truly do. And I also send out a lot of love and healing energy to each of you because a lot of us need it. And stay warm out there. I love you. And if you want to continue on with me, if that's your thing, that's fine. And if it's not, don't worry about it. I'm going to jump over in about 10 minutes to Crime Story Mama. And over there, we're going to pull some cards. I love you to the moon and back. God bless you, my love. Bye for now.
From the dust I was born, to the dirt I shall return. When my eyes are closed, in the shadows, my enemies will think that